Guys, I'm back. Today I'm talking about finding self. My name is B. Yvette Myers. I am a mental health, substance abuse, and child trauma counselor. Today's topic is personal to me, and as with a lot of women, people, period, I kind of get biased at that. I'm going to stop doing that. But it is very personal because it is so easy to lose yourself in your daily life, in your daily activities, in your family, in your work, in your friends. It is very easy. And as I sit here and think about it, as easy as it may be, or sitting from this position right now, it appears that it may be easier for a man to lose himself because of all the things that he has to be, or society says that he needs to be. And being all of those things can remove him from himself. Now, women, I could speak from that position because losing self can be taking care of everything. So the two perspectives I'm going to try to focus on today, as I can't speak from a man's perspective, but I can speak from a woman observing a man's perspective. And that's the position I will come from. The concept of losing self is quite. So the first question I would ask is, how do you know that you are no longer in touch with you? A couple of questions. I have about 4 questions, and I'm going to be looking to my left because my screen has my outline on it, so don't think that I'm distracted. When self isn't a priority, and there's a difference between making self a priority and thinking only of yourself. Now, let me tell you the difference. When you make self a priority, you know that if you don't take care of you, that you cannot be there for your family. You cannot be there for your job. You cannot be there for anybody else. That's when you know that if you don't take care of you, that's making self a priority. When you're only thinking of yourself, nobody else matters. You have $20 in your pocket and you're not hungry, or you're not even in a position of want or need. And the opportunity presents itself where you can be a benefit to someone. Now, do not think that I am saying that if you choose to keep your money, that you're selfish. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the opportunity, no matter what situation it presents itself, the opportunity to be helpful to someone else is never an option for you. That's being that's the difference between making yourself a priority and only thinking of yourself. There is nothing that we can do in society where we only think of ourselves. If you can tell me what we can do in society where you can be the only priority, well, you are the only one that really matters. And I'll tell you that you probably are aligning yourself with a hate group, because that's how many of those hate groups think. Only my race, only my people, only me matters. And that's a position that many of us don't want to be in, or many of us even shy away from people that think like that, or outright avoid, because those people aren't pleasant people. And that's the difference between making yourself a priority and only thinking of yourself. The idea of self-care presents as selfish in many ways. If I decide to take advantage of going to the spa in lieu of taking care of my grandkids because my children have to work, if you look at that on both sides, you can say, well, I have a right. I've raised my kids. I have a right to go to the spa. And then on the other side, you say, well, they have to work. That's not their fault. They have good careers, but they were called into work. And so then in that situation, what was the right decision? There is no right or wrong decision. Now, let me tell you why I say that. I like to take away the term right and wrong decisions and replace them with positive and negative decisions. A positive decision adds value to your life, is a forward-moving decision. A negative decision is a decision that takes away value from your life, takes away something. You lose something in that decision. So I replace positive and negative decisions with wrong and right decisions, which are completely subjective. In the scenario that I use about going to the spa versus taking care of my grandkids, we can stay all day and we can argue that point. We can say that, you have a right, your kids need to make the best, figure out what they're going to do. You can go back and forth all day and you will never come to a resolution. But if I say make a positive or a negative decision, a positive decision for me is to take care of me. A positive decision for my son would be to take care of my grandchildren. So when I'm to make that decision, I say, who is priority to me? To me, priority is me. So, son, I can't do it because I got to go to the spa. And I'm not going to say, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say, well, I'm sorry I can't do it this time. I feel so bad for you. No, son, I can't do it. I have other plans. And that's it. That is it. The problem comes sometimes, and I hate to use the word problem, but that's another subject, another title. The problem comes with the no, I can't do it, and then the reasoning why. Because now you're trying to convince the other person that your reason for not doing it is more valid than the reason that they want you to do it. So now you're up for a debate. And now that's when things come into play where people call you selfish because they look at your reasoning for doing something and they judge it against their reasoning why that needs you to do something. And now to weigh those two reasonings, it may appear as selfish. So I can't do it, period. I'm not going to even give you the opportunity to reason or the opportunity or the anything to put me in a position to call me selfish. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to say I'm not going to do it. I've spoken with mothers over the years, and there is pride in taking and putting self behind the family. There is. If you read your social media at any given time, you'll see parents going, my children first. My children first. Me and my husband, my children, then my husband, then me. If that's working for you, then keep doing it. That's not why I'm here. What I'm saying is, if it's not working for you, then change the order. So, your children, then yourself, then your significant other, or your children, then your significant other, then yourself, or however way you put that. Now think about this. Now I heard Dwayne Wade say something, and a lot of people are familiar with him, but are whatever reason don't care for his personality or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. But I heard him say something in regards to Gabrielle Union, and they were talking about her unsuccessful attempts to have a baby, and finally they had a surrogate, and they were able to give birth with her seed and his seed implanted. So I heard him say something that really resonated with me in regarding to finding self. Dwayne Wade said, and I paraphrase, there is no us, referring to the children, without you. There is no us without you. So he was making the declaration that Gabrielle was more important to him than his children. Does that mean that he neglects his children? No. Does that mean that his children are important to him? No. He's just saying, and how I interpreted it was that there is no me and you without, there is no me without you. And I really respect that. That's not to say that I'm weighing this either way. And that may come off, and as I think about it as bias, that I'm leaning towards one view. The view that I'm leaning towards is, if you're happy with the position that you're in, with putting yourself last, then turn the video off, because this isn't for you. But if something is going awry, if you're finding that it's difficult to continue to put everybody else in front of you, and you feel slighted, you feel left out, you feel like nobody thinks about you, nobody cares about you. If that's your feeling, then continue to watch. If not, then turn it off. We lose ourselves when we forget what we want. If I were to ask you, when you were growing up, what did you want to be? I want you to go back in time to when you were 10, 5, 10, 15, 16, 19, 20, 25. Pick a point in your life when you were so motivated, when you were so enthused about what you wanted out of life. You were focused, you were driven, and you knew what you wanted. But somehow life folded like a bakery. You're folding in different ingredients. And as life continued to fold in, the idea of who you saw yourself as changed. And it changed so much to who you are now. It's nothing like what you started out to be. Now, sometimes that can be for the better. Sometimes we are a little off because our vision is a little skewed as we're younger. But as we get older, with intelligence, with wisdom, and with knowledge, we become more focused. Now, pick that time, and I want you to go back and realize, and whatever you decided or whatever you wanted to be at that time, that's the time that I want you to grab. And grab that time, and then at that moment, I want you to start to think about how can you, with the knowledge and the wisdom that you have right now, how can you put all of this into play and make that person and birth that person? That's finding self. We forget what we want. If I ask you, sit down and write down 5 things that you want. Pause the video. What that you want off the top of your head. Me personally, sometimes we get so lost in self that if just off the top of my head, I don't know if I want anything. Do I really want anything? Now, if I ask you what you need outside of money, because that's usually the go-to, outside of money, what are some of the 5 things that you need? And now, when I ask you, what do you need? We're going to take money away. But I want you to name 5 things that you need as it relates to someone else. Not 5 things that you need, a house, a car, as it relates to someone else. Now, you can finagle that any way you want. And you can, I need a house so that I can take care of my kids, so that I can be a better mom, I can be a better parent, I can be this and this and this. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying 5 things that you need as it relates to somebody else. For instance, I am a therapist, but I want to be a better therapist. As it relates to someone else is educating, continue to read, continue to provide these few workshops, and continue to hone my craft so that all the people that I see that are hurting when it regards to simple, like there's simple fixes to behavior, but a lot of what I see don't know. And so it's troubling to my heart to see so many people hurting, and I can't do anything about it. So when Barbara presented with me with these workshops, I was like, I can fix that as it relates to someone else. Now, that might be easy for some, and it might be difficult for some. However long it is, however long it takes, just put down 1, put down 2, put down as many as you can think as it relates to somebody else. That's how we define us. We actually get pleasure in helping other people. There is nothing more beneficial or that'll give you a better warm and fuzzy than helping someone and then just walking away and not getting accolades. Because I've been in a position where I've gotten a hearty thank you. I've been in positions where people have acknowledged me publicly. And that all felt good. Don't get me wrong. That all felt good and I was grateful. But the best feeling or the best euphoria that I've ever felt is helping someone and then just walking away, not requiring or asking anyone to acknowledge me. Now, if that's your thing, I'm not judging. I don't judge. I tell my kids that all the time. I don't judge. Yes, you do, Mom. You judge. No, I don't. I really don't. We also lose ourselves when we forget to think about ourselves on a daily basis. We forget to think about ourselves on a daily basis. Look at your day yesterday. Look at your day today. What did you do for you? What did you do for you today? Now, think about yesterday, the day before, the day before. We keep doing things for people over and over and over and over. And then when we don't get what we feel like should be even a thank you, then we begin to switch from the passive person, from the victim to the aggressor. It's like, you guys, I did this, this, and this. You ungrateful little sugar honey iced teas. Every time I do something for you guys, you don't even give a simple thank you. Now, then on the rebuttal side of that, you'll get some to come back. Well, if you truly did it for them, then you don't need a thank you. You just do it and you just let it be. Yeah, that sounds all nice and fuzzy, but everybody wants to be thanked. Even the Bible says a workman is worthy of his hire. You want to be thanked. You want to be appreciated. And then when that doesn't happen, we go from overpassing, self-care to selfishness. And selfishness is when you say, you know what, forget everybody else. I'm just going to do me. How do we find self? Finding self involves remembering who you are. I've told you things about how to lose yourself and taking care of your family, ensuring that the lights are on, the water's paid, the water's running, the mortgage is paid, a roof over your head, food on the table. Now, after all of that is done, how do you find self? Remembering, what do you like? I'm not talking about incorporating the kids or the family or the husband or the wife. What do you like? What do you like to do? Tell me that. What do you like? What don't you like? I don't like it when. I love that word, and that's one of my favorite phrases, especially when working with kids, because they have this desire to be accepted by adults, which can be bad in some instances, but on a positive note, it's a real good thing when you just simply tell a child, I don't like it when you act like that. I don't like it when you behave like that. I don't like it when you speak to your siblings like that, or when you throw things or do anything. That bothers me. Simple words like that, even to adults, are very effective. What don't you like? We forget what we like and don't like so easily as we consume ourselves. And consuming ourselves is everything around us becomes more important than us. Now, let me tell you a personal story. There's a very good friend of mine, and we talk nearly every day. And there was a time when we weren't talking, and for whatever reason, it would just, come and go. Those friendships come and go. You speak for every day, and then you can go a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without speaking, and then you're back at it again. So this is one of the times we're at a break. And I found myself being less anxious during the day. I found myself being less hostile. And I did not realize how much of her life was infusing into mine. Our daily conversations were about life, about things, what's bothering us, sounding boards for each other. But I did not realize how much I was giving of myself to these conversations. And it really opened my eyes to how much I allow into my life that I do because I'm thinking that's what a friend does, right? A friend's there to listen and to hear sounding board. But if there is something that you're doing with someone else that's taking away from you being the optimum you, then something has to give. Something has to. It just has to. You're either going to continue to be absorbed with your friend's life, with the life of everyone else, or you're going to have to start self-care, which is quite different from selfishness. We explained that earlier. What did you want to do when you grew up? I talked about that. See, I mentioned it. What do you want to do? What do you like? What you don't like? We forget what we like and don't like so easily as it consumes. Some questions to get you jarred or get you thinking. When you were a child, what did you like to do? What did you want to be when you grew up? If you had a chance to do anything in the world, what would that be? Um, how do you measure success? Do you consider yourself successful? And not the proverbial successful by standards that you had when you were a child. How do you measure being successful right now? On any given day, how do you spend your day? Who do you find yourself taking care of? What if that person wasn't there? What would you be doing? Regarding my friend that I was speaking of earlier, I asked, I said, what would you be doing? What would you do if that person wasn't in your life? What would you do if that person had their life together? What would you do? If you failing to move from where you are right now to what you would be doing if that person wasn't in your life. And I'm not speaking of caring for an elderly. Please don't miss, because somebody's going to listen to this and say, Yvette said, I need to know. That's not what I'm saying. You make the decision that's best for you. When do you take care of yourself during the day? Give yourself 3 minutes. Just start with 3 minutes. Every day, I just want you to think only of yourself. Even if you have to go to your room or be in your car driving, well, you can't really think of yourself because you have to drive offensively. So if you have to go to your room, go to the bathroom, wherever, be in a position where you can think only of yourself. Think only of yourself. What do you want? Breathe. Count to 5, count to 10, count to 50. Inhale, exhale. That's an excellent way to relieve stress also. Lay down. Put something under your knees. Lay on your back. Put something on your knees and swallow your back. Lay there, arms stretched out like that. Head back. Put something under your head to offset the curvatures of your body. And just think only of yourself. Meditate. Meditating is thinking of nothing. Just don't allow yourself to think of the dinner, what you got to do tomorrow, nothing. Think of yourself. And then start to tap into what you like, what you don't like, who you are as a person. That's one question I like to ask parents. Who are you? And I say, and most of them say, I'm a mother, a sister, a wife, a minister, a teacher, a lawyer. But then I say, well, that's what you do. And that's who you take care of. But who are you? It took me a long time to answer that question. Answer that question to yourself and be satisfied with the answer with yourself. Because I can tell you who I am, and then you'll go, well, okay, and you'll measure that according to what you think you are. And then you'll go, well, I think I'm better than that because I am this. Or I think I haven't reached the bar yet because I'm just thinking I'm here. So whoever you think you are, answer that question without your position. Answer that question without who you take care of. Who are you? Without who you take care of. Another question in finding self is, when was the last time you bought yourself something without attaching guilt to it? I can't afford this, or if you can't afford it, don't buy it because you're not going to enjoy it. Been there, done that. You're not going to enjoy it. So, when was the last time that you bought yourself something or you took care of something, even if you have to save for it, even if you have to put a couple of dollars to the side for it? It feels so good to put something away for something as you go and then find out that you can afford it or you go out and pay for it. That is an awesome feeling. Now, if you got it like that and you don't have to put it to the side, then kudos, I support you. But to those that have to put a little something to the side, it's awesome feeling. I wanted a pair of earrings like that one time. Um, they were $2,000. And actually, I still have them. So I wanted those earrings so bad. When I tell you, these earrings were bad to the bone, people. They were bad to the bone. And I said, I gotta have those earrings. So every couple of weeks, I would go in there. The earrings were still in the jewelry store. Go back in there, they're still in there. So finally, I said, you know what? I don't want to put it on a credit card. I don't want to empty my savings account or empty my mad money. That's what I call money to buy things like that. So every few weeks, I put some money to the side. I kept going back in there to check on them, and they were still there. So I kept putting money to the side, kept putting money to the side. When I went in there and those earrings were there and I paid for them for cash, you couldn't have told me nothing. I still wear them to this day. And that was about 6, 7 years ago. I love those earrings. Another question in finding self is, how does the house function when you're not feeling well? Does it go completely bunkers, or does it semi-function? How does it function when you're not there? That lets me know if you're the pinnacle of your house, which is not a bad thing, but there should be, the thing that I learned in the military was that always prepare someone when you're not there. Because no ship is an island. No ship has only one sailor. If you're the only person in your home that can do something, then it may borderline on dysfunction. Now, that's not bearing if you have small kids. That's not bearing. If you have able bodies and you're the only one that makes anything happen, then prepare someone else for your not demise, because I'm not trying to put anybody in a grave. Well, prepare somebody else for you when you're not there. Put someone else in place so that you can say that you can take a break. And when we can't break, that's when we start to get upset. That's when we start to lose our focus. When there is no room for us to find a moment to ourselves. That's when you go, you know what? Forget it. I'm not doing anything for anybody. The thing is to align your daily life, your daily activities with your core beliefs. Sit down and write out an average day. I've done this exercise before. And now sit down and write down your core beliefs. Your core beliefs should be 2 or 3 things, 1 or 2. Some people have 5 or 10. If that's you, then fine. But write down your core beliefs. Now, in your core beliefs, what do you do daily that strengthen your core beliefs? The easiest one that I could talk about is when I hear or when people say that God is their core belief. Without God, nothing is possible. Without God, they can't function. Then I say, what did you do yesterday? And then they go through, and I say, be as specific as possible. And we sit there, and they go through the entire day. And I say, well, what did you do yesterday? And they sit there and go that today, and the day before. And it takes time. And then after they sit down, I say, so where did God come in any of those days? And then those are the days that you feel like you didn't get anything done. When your core beliefs don't align with your daily activities, you feel like you're wasting your day away, like nothing is getting done. Like, you're just not focused. Nothing is happening in your life. You feel like you're just waking up and going to sleep. Then align your core beliefs with your daily activities. Even if you throw in, like salt, sprinkling a few of your core beliefs inside your day. You have to work. Yeah, you have to work. And if ministering is your thing, or ministering to people that's what you will feel that you are called to do, then, and your job speaks against that, because truly you're not paid to minister, you're paid to work. So some people I probably lost somebody on that one. I felt your spirit leave. But then do it after work. During your lunch break, don't eat. Go outside your facility if that's not something that they allow there, and minister at the mall. Give up your lunch break and go minister. You can find a way to do your core beliefs inside your day if you want to. And not saying that, if you don't do it, you don't want to do it, because some people are truly busy. Even if you take a moment to yourself and pray. If you're a nurse and somebody walks in and they don't have insurance or whatever reason, and you take a moment and say, Lord, help them. Lord, bless them. Lord, send somebody their way. Lord, what can I do? That's a way to instill your core beliefs into your day. And even if it's just talking to yourself, you can fuse your core beliefs into your day without completely altering your day. I was looking at online and on mindbodygreen.com, mindbodygreen.com. I was looking online and there were 6 things in finding self. And I thought these was interesting. And I'm just going to go over the titles. I encourage you to go there to read it. Accept yourself above all else. Who you are is who you are. If you have issues or things that you want to fix, then fix it. Perfect is not real. There's no such thing. Accept everything. Even things that you don't like, accept that you don't like it. That doesn't mean that you have to accept that thing. It's just that I don't like that. I don't even want to deal with it. That's not my cup of tea. I'm keeping moving. Be selfish sometimes. Be selfish in respect to, thinking of yourself. That's not a place that we want to dwell. We want to be mindful. We want to maintain self-care. Use everyone else as a mirror. That's the one that I really didn't. I kind of go, yeah, oh no. But on the good side of that, I can see how that can be beneficial, using other people as a mirror to reflect you. What's in them that you see in yourself that you can tweak, that you can fix, that you can adjust. Connect to your core. Who are you? That goes back to our core beliefs that I was just mentioning. Who are you? And here are 3 powerful insights. Meditate. Know yourself. Knowing yourself opens the ways to limitless potentials. Once you begin to tap into you and you know yourself, you start to realize that you have no boundaries. Boundaries come when you don't understand who you are and the strength and the magnitude of your force. That's when you start to put boundaries on. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. And that's not to say that I was told one time that I give up too easily. And I said, why do you say that? And then I was told that because there was an obstacle in front of me and I chose not to go through it. I chose to go around it. And the question was, you gave up before you even tried. And you didn't even try to see if you can go over that thing. Well, me personally, I know my upper body strength. And I know that physically, I was not strong enough to lift myself above and over that obstacle. Now, to try to do that would only give me more self-doubt, or me to personally go, dang, I can't beat myself up, if you will. So knowing that I can't physically lift my body up to go over that obstacle, going around it was the best option for me. I still got to the other side, but this person felt that I should go over it. I should have at least tried. And I said, try to do something that I know that I'm not physically right now capable of doing is insane to me. I know that I cannot lift my body. You know how I know? Because I've tried to lift my body weight. And at that moment when I tried, and I've gotten stronger. I work out 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm getting physically more, my upper body strength is strengthening so that I can lift my weight. But right now, I couldn't do it. So knowing yourself is knowing that the best option for me is to get around this and not going over it, because that's not an option at this moment. Now, that's not to say if that side was blocked and something wasn't behind me, that I would probably get over there. Now, that's different because now I have adrenaline, momentum, and I have probably a life or death situation. Because if it's not a life or death situation, then I'll probably look at it and go, well, how likely will it be to fight this obstacle that's coming behind me? And then how much of my strength would I give to that thing before I realize that I can't get out of it? I'm not about beating yourself up. I'm not about putting yourself in a position that you know that you're not, or you know that you need further development in. I'm about getting you to the point where you realize that moving forward is understanding what you can go through, what you can go over, and what you can go around, and developing you. Self-care is taking care of you. It's easy. It happens so easily to lose yourself when you forget who you are. You identify yourself with things, and things are your children, your job, your work, your car, your vehicles, your house. When you put yourself inside those things and those things become who you are, then you've lost yourself, because that's dangerous. When those things are gone, or if those things are gone, then your self-worth, who you believe you are, diminishes quickly. And as it diminishes quickly, the desire to live diminishes quickly. It is important for us to take care of ourselves, to be mindful of ourselves, to be kind, which is different from nice. And I'm going to end with that, the difference between niceness and kindness. Niceness is doing things that you don't want to do. Being nice is giving someone something when you have no desire, heartfelt. You don't want to do it, but you do it because you're nice, because everybody tells you to be nice, because it's the proper thing to do is to be nice. But being kind is saying no when you don't want to. Being kind is being polite, being not being obtrusive. Being kind is saying, no, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. And I'm okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, then there's a difference, or there's a discrepancy in who we are, who I am, and who you are. So I end with that.